Our first step is to make sure the host mode wrapper is installed in the correct plugin folder. Whether you're using AAX, AU or VST3 plugins, double-check that they've been installed properly and that your DAW has scanned them. If everything is set up correctly, the plugin will appear in your DAW's plugin selection area. By default, the installer includes wrappers for all hardware variations, along with a universal RA control version. All of these function identically, except for one key difference: the automation parameter naming inside the host mode wrapper. Selecting the RA control version provides a universal set of parameter names, numbered from 0 through 60. If you select the wrapper that matches your specific hardware, then the automation parameter names in your DAW will directly correspond to your hardware controller's controls. For this demonstration, I'll be using the Micro 3 wrapper, as that's the hardware I'm working with today. Now that we've inserted our host mode wrapper into our DAW, our next step is to scan any VST3 plugins we'd like to use with host mode. From Host Mode's menu, select Plugins and then Scan. This should start Host Mode's plugin scanner. It's important to understand that although host mode is available in AAX, AU and VST3 formats, the host itself loads VST3 plugins only. So no matter which DAW you're using, whether it's Cubase, Pro Tools or Logic, you will need to have the VST3 versions of your plugins installed for host mode to function. Let's browse to our VST3 plugins folder. With the plugin scanner open, we have two main options: full scan or refresh. Full scan will reset any current plugin list and perform a complete rescan of the selected folder. Since this is the first time scanning, we'll choose full scan. Depending on how many plugins are installed, this process may take several minutes to complete, so we'll speed up the video. Now that scanning is complete, we can proceed to insert plugins into the host mode wrapper. If you add new VST3 plugins in the future or notice that some plugins are not showing in the list, you can return to the VST3 folder and select Refresh. Refresh Scan keeps your existing plugin list intact and only checks for changes. It will add any new plugins that have been installed and remove any that are no longer present. This allows you to keep your plugin list current without having to perform a full rescan each time. Let's insert a plugin into the host mode wrapper. Navigate to Plugins, then Insert, and you'll see a scrollable list of available plugins. You can also search for specific plugins by name or manufacturer using the search bar provided. Let's create a preset from scratch. To map a continuous element such as an encoder, first adjust the encoder's value on the plugin, and then adjust the corresponding element on your hardware controller. Repeat this process until your entire plugin is mapped. For Micro 3 controllers, you have an extra function. To map an element to your encoder's second function, first adjust the encoder's value on the plugin. Then, push and turn the corresponding element on your hardware controller. Mapping switches and buttons can be done in a similar fashion. Adjust the plugin's switch value, and then adjust the corresponding hardware control element. Continuous parameters like encoders and switches with more than two values can also have custom values applied. To do this, adjust the continuous element to the desired value. Then adjust the corresponding element on your hardware controller. For example, you can set a custom value for the output fader of 0. This way, when you press the appropriate buttons, it resets the fader to 0. Once finished, select Stop Mapping, and your preset will be saved to the host mode preset window. As an alternative to manual mapping, if available, you can download a pre-configured preset. Once downloaded, all parameters will be mapped automatically, making your plugin and hardware controller ready for immediate use. You can further adjust this mapping by selecting Edit and manually adjusting the controls as shown earlier. Your rock-solid audio hardware will automatically control the host mode wrapper that is currently in focus. Focused host mode wrappers are highlighted in orange, while unfocused host mode wrappers appear in grey. Focusing a specific host mode wrapper can be achieved in multiple ways. Focus the wrapper directly with your mouse by clicking on the host mode wrapper's main area. Adjusting a parameter within the hosted plugin will also focus that host mode wrapper. Instantiating the wrapper from your Daw's inserts list will also initiate host mode wrapper focus. Lastly, if your Daw has a host mode integration available, you can also focus host mode wrappers by selecting the plugin from the virtual screen, or by selecting channels using the favorites or last selected intelligent sync functionality described later in this tutorial. If your DAW has a host mode integration available, you can take advantage of host mode's virtual screen and intelligent sync systems. The virtual screen is designed to show you what channels you have currently selected and the plugins that are inserted on that selected channel. Depending on your Daw's level of integration, you will see certain information displayed on the virtual screen. Host mode wrappers that are currently focused will appear highlighted in orange. Unfocused host mode wrappers will be shown in white. Non-host mode wrappers will appear in grey. This feature is only available in some Daws. You can focus a specific host mode wrapper by selecting it from the virtual screen. The virtual screen will also show a real-time readout of any parameters you are currently adjusting in your focused host mode wrapper. The virtual screen can also be set to auto-hide, so it only appears when you change channel or adjust parameters. And the virtual screen can also be resized and moved to your chosen location. Another feature of RA Control's host mode integration is intelligent sync. When selecting channels in your Daw, intelligent sync will auto-focus the host mode wrapper on that selected channel. If more than one host mode wrapper has been inserted on a channel, by default, and depending on your Daw's level of integration, intelligent sync will focus either the first host mode wrapper on that channel or the first host mode wrapper instantiated by the user. If you enable favorites from the host mode settings tab, then intelligent sync's default behavior will change. Now, when selecting a channel, intelligent sync will search for and focus the first favorite plugin it encounters, not necessarily the first host mode wrapper on that channel. This is a great feature if you are adding more than one host mode wrapper per channel and want to quickly select your favorite plugins when switching channels. To add a plugin to the Intelligent Sync Favorites list, navigate to your plugins preset in the Host Mode Settings window and select Favorites. But this isn't the only Intelligent Sync option. If you enable Last Selected, then instead of syncing to your first host mode wrapper or your favorite host mode wrapper, Last Selected will instead allow Intelligent Sync to track the most recent host mode wrapper selected on each individual channel. As you navigate channels, it will refocus the last host mode wrapper you engaged with on that specific channel. If possible, RA Control should be launched before opening any DAW sessions. However, if this is not done, you may encounter issues such as broken DAW integration, incorrect plugin names displayed on the virtual screen, or the inability to focus specific plugins. Selecting Refresh from the host mode wrapper will reinitiate connections and resolve these issues.